smile. Maybe, oh maybe, we'll stop for a little while. Maybe, oh maybe, we'll watch the sun go down. And maybe, oh maybe, we'll decide to stick around. And maybe we won't, and decide to take a walk. And you and I will ponder as we wander, as we walk.
Welcome to Ponder While We Wander. We're two friends who happen to be therapists go on a walk as we discuss relationships, nature, and meet life in the moment. Each episode is grounded in some aspect of eco-psychology, but can take us anywhere as we ponder while we wander. And you're invited to come along.
And you and I will ponder as we wander, as we walk.
Hi, Amber.
Hi, Natasha.
How you doing? How's that cup of coffee going for you?
It's going good. You know, I'm over halfway through my cup and feeling alive, feeling alert.
Feeling alert. We have moved several places, and we think this is going to be the place we're going to land for right now. We're at the Captain Whidbey on Whidbey Island. Came here because you can buy a cup of coffee and have some scenery with it. So.
Which is especially helpful because we were up and out a little earlier than our usual today. So having a coffee destination in mind was important.
Yeah.
But we're not only going to be talking about coffee today, right? We're going to be really talking about connection.
Right. We will be pondering about the ritual and magic of slowing down and connecting over a warm beverage. And, some people, you drink your coffee, and we drink our coffee and tea for the magical property of caffeine and what it does for us. And that is perfectly legitimate and part of the process as well for some of it. But sometimes a warm beverage is just a warm beverage and a nice way to connect and slow down a little bit.
Yeah. By no means does it have to be coffee. All warm beverage drinkers are welcome.
And cold beverage drinkers as well. I guess, if that's your thing, you like cold beverages and can connect over that perfectly fine.
Yes.
Yeah, when we were talking about this subject, it is one that is dear to my heart, a warm beverage. And part of it is the ritual of making whatever that beverage is, especially if you are making it for somebody. To me, that is one of the great expressions of love is if somebody brings me a cup of coffee in the morning or makes me a pot of tea at night and we can sit down and drink it together. It's just a really lovely expression that I very much appreciate.
Agreed. I have a lot of memories of having a cup of coffee prepared for me. And one is top of mind right now because I just got to talk to my family that's over in Norway. My brother lives here, so they're visiting my brother that lives there. And it's reminding me of, the last time that I got to go be with my family that lives far away. And my brother Jaron and my sister-in-law Kristen, they take special care when it comes to coffee. And so many beautiful memories of them in the morning when we'd wake up, like them really taking a lot of care and time and attention to prepare a cup of coffee, and us being able to all sit down together. And there really was and is this ritual quality of gathering in the morning to enjoy this cup of coffee. And appreciate the time and attention and care that went into making it. And it's like you can taste the love in there.
Yeah. And so many conversations and connections. I think of coffee houses the way that they were historically, where they were gathering places and places where people who were in the sciences and arts and literature and studied history all got together, and maybe they talked politics, or maybe they were just gossiping, right? But it was connection, and the way that we transmitted information from person to person, right? Like that's such a different way. And when we talk about somatic experiences and feeling the experience of having information shared with us in a way that is connecting, and our bodies recognize that connection in so many ways.
Yeah, and I'm thinking of, and even, there's images depicted in movies or story, or even just your own personal life of, this kind of idea of like, come on in, I'll put a pot of tea on, right? Like it signals this like, come in and tell me about what's happening in your life. Come share with me, come sit with me, come let me, hold your stories with you. It's a really powerful place for connecting.
Yes.
And healing. I think there's a lot of, that's part of where some of the, aside from the caffeine magic, for me, I think that's what the magic is of coffee or tea or whatever your, warm beverage of choice is. It's like, it's that exchange, that, like you were saying, that somatic experience with another, that deepening in relationship, being witnessed, being held, having someone care about your stories that you're sharing, or, caring about the stories of people in your life.
You can probably hear different airplanes going overhead today, and maybe some birds in the background. Here comes another jet. Let's pause for jet. We are coming back from a little bit of a break with a jet that went overhead, just so you can hear us a little better. In the meantime, I've seen some birds come in and feed their little babies. We've seen some otters out today. There are some people on the shoreline there. It's low tide. They're clamming. We've seen some clams squirt up, and we know that they're there under the ground there. So it's a beautiful location. And it's both and. It's both beautiful nature, and there's some, man-made noises and intrusive sounds. So we're just practicing being here. Yeah,
It's part of the process sometimes. You can't control for every variable.
Cannot. When I was thinking about the subject of healing with, with a warm beverage, I was also thinking, there's a shadow side to this of like capitalism, and the first kind of labor rights that were granted were around having a coffee break, right? And I'm thinking, who did that really benefit? Like, is that us, the laborer, or is that the people who get more out of our productivity because of our, the magical properties of the caffeine? So, holding the both and in this.
Yeah, it's important, right? Everything has two sides to it.
Yeah. And when I think about those meeting spaces too, I think about how it's hard to find those. I have a colleague, Peter, who talks about the glory days of the E-Bar in Pasadena, and it was this espresso bar where there were lots of people who gathered. It was very close to Caltech and Art Center, and so you had this convergence of lots of different people who would gather and, sit next to each other and hear ideas. And, I think even if there was a space like that now, would we even talk to each other? Would people be more separated on their devices? I don't know if it even would serve the purpose, but I do know that it's really hard to find gathering places like that. Even the coffee places now, you walk in and there are people on their screens and trying to get work done, which is important as well, but not a lot of just sitting around talking. And Sometimes it's older men I tend to see that go there, maybe little groups of 3 or so talking about stuff.
Yeah. They're not working.
They're not working.
They're hanging out and talking and gathering. Yeah, definitely. It's making me think of there was a coffee shop in Santa Cruz when I lived there. And, you know, this part you were saying about, like, sometimes it can be hard to find it. Like, there was this place that we found. It was in walking distance of my home, and it was really small, super tiny. And, you know, there was a period of time when I was, you know, a brand new mom, and a lot of my life just looked a lot different than it had before I became a mom. And I had 2 really dear friends, and we made it a point to walk and meet at this coffee shop, and we would just hang out there for hours. We would drink coffee or tea. They had the most amazing scones. We'd enjoy those. I have such rich, supportive memories of, like, really needing that community in the early stages of motherhood. And, you know, the coffee shop had to close. And I really could feel that. I felt that shift because that place that we had gathered that was, you know, it felt sacred in a sense. It was gone. And so it changed some routines, and not that we didn't gather, but it was different. And I feel what you're talking about, yeah, maybe some of those places even before my time that really felt accessible and present and easy and open, and yeah, that they can shift, and there can be some loss around that, grief around that too.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think about the times when it's been more easy to gather and be around coffee, especially like when you don't have to go into work. I think about camping trips. We used to take camping trips when I was young because it was inexpensive, and you could take a family of 5 and their friends, and you can all go camping. And yeah, those are some of the places where I remember smelling coffee in the morning, even though I wasn't drinking it yet, right? And then later on, when I was able to drink coffee, I think I was in the Girl Scouts, somehow, probably, you know, maybe middle school or just early high school age. I was still a Girl Scout then, and we would go camping, and by that time we had figured out how to make coffee in a percolator on a campfire, and then also add hot chocolate packets to it.
Leveling up.
So they were the Girl Scout mochas of the day, and yeah, it was all good, all good. And those were times where we had that, you know, time to just be together. Camping trips later on too, with groups, and when I had, you know, kids, and we would spend lots of time out in the woods. You had lots of time to drink that coffee.
Camp coffee. It's a special kind of coffee.
It's a special kind of coffee.
And talk about ritual, right?
Yes.
It's like, perhaps it involves starting the fire. You know, I know a lot of us have, like, you know, propane camp stoves, but even that, you know, you gotta prepare it in a way, and you see everyone kind of start to come out and gather and, you know, wait for their camp coffee. It pulls us together.
I love traveling. We have a friend that oftentimes we go traveling with Rachel, and she is notorious or famous for bringing her coffee setup. And I mean, she's got this down to a science. Her little grinder and the little way that.
Yep.
Yes.
It's a very special process. It always feels like, ooh, we get to have Rachel's special coffee. And if I happen to attempt it on my own, I'm like, okay, let me make sure I really care for this. Like, I want to wash the pieces and dry them and set them, because there's care. There's care in there. And but yeah, it's better when she makes it.
It's really better when she makes it.
No pressure, Rachel, but I'm just saying, your coffee's delicious.
You know, we were talking earlier, and I can't remember because we started this conversation 3 times. If we're talking about it here or not, but about, you know, sometimes it's easier to be in difficult situations and have either bad news delivered or just be in like crummy situations together over a warm beverage. And I was remembering times where, somebody was in the hospital and we were either sitting vigil or we were waiting for somebody to come out of surgery. And, those kind of rituals of somebody getting the coffee or tea and bringing it and sitting around and sipping just that warm beverage and feeling that sense of warmth, especially in a cold, sterile kind of environment like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think it's symbolic, right? In those moments, there's not always words that you can say. It's presence and small offerings of comfort and that, bringing somebody a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. It's like there's so much that's being said without even using your words.
Yeah. Yeah. I started to giggle a little bit, even though that is a very poignant thing. But I was remembering when you and I flew to Ireland, and neither of us slept on the flight, and then we still had a 2-hour drive to where we were going, and we were ready to, you do the thing where you stay up until as late as you can, you fall asleep, and we did it. We punched through. We got to bed. It was after 10 o'clock at night. We both fell asleep.
It's so hard to make it to 10.
And then we both wake up and we're like, feeling refreshed. We look at the clock and it was like,
I know. I remember looking at you and being like, what time is it? And you're like, it's 1. And I just complete shock and quickly followed by dread. I was like, what are we going to do for the next, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. What are we going to do?
Yes.
But yeah.
So we walked downstairs and the proprietor had a little station set up with tea. We made ourselves a pot
of tea.
Of chamomile tea.
Yeah.
And we sat down there and had a little
a
tea.
couple hours.
Cried.
Several pots. Yeah, cried. We assured each other, okay, it's only going to get better. We're going to sleep. It's not going to be like this the whole time.
But it won't be like this the whole time.
Oh,
but
yeah.
But that was a magical experience, too.
It really was. And that was the comfort we needed to be like, it's okay.
Even if we have to, change plans. I think that in our friendship, that cup of coffee has been those transition times. And maybe that's for a lot of people's lives. It's like, okay, maybe it's a transition from unconsciousness in the morning to consciousness. Or from, here was the plan, and the plan isn't the plan anymore. Let's go do it.
The new plan is let's find a coffee shop and regroup. I'm also thinking about, you and I have worked together at various jobs over many, many years, and some of those have been more challenging than others. But I remember maybe the second place that we worked together, going in the morning, getting a cup of coffee together before driving into the office was essential in a sense.
The shoring up.
The shoring up. And it was like, okay, we're going to do this again. And we're going to do this again and again and again and again. But yeah, I appreciate that you mentioned that, because that really has been a central part of our friendship, or our pivoting, or our lives crossing over in many ways. And talk about connection, right? I mean, that's an example of that. It's at the thresholds.
One of my other favorite coffee stories is when I was with the Red Cross, and there's a canteen truck that will be put into action when there are fires or instances where there's going to be a lot of personnel working for long shifts. And I learned there how to make coffee in bulk in these big, percolators, and then you drive up to, the location, whether it be where it's a staging area or it's in the middle of a disaster area, and put up the sides, and you've got snacks and stuff, but then you've got warm beverages, and just how that was a meeting place for people to kind of come back together, especially in really hard, devastating times, to just see each other's faces again. Everybody had a job to do, but you could get a little bit of comfort, a little bit of sustenance, a little bit of warmth, and then get back out there again. And kind of think about the times that we're in right now, and people feeling overwhelmed and feeling like, wow, this isn't ever going to stop. It's just, this 24-hour news cycle and things that are just always happening. And the necessity to be able to slow down and see each other's faces, to connect that we're all going through something and we all have our thing that we're doing. But maybe just that ability to slow down and to take a little nourishment from each other. Or if your job is to make the coffee, right? It feels really good to be able to hand out a cup of coffee in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
When there's bad stuff happening in the world.
Something that can be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So never underestimate the power of a warm beverage and sharing that.
Never. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. I like to use coffee as a meditation also, because I think it is something that connects a lot of things. I have a little quote here. Can I read it?
Sure.
Okay, this is by an author, Sarah Vowell, and she says, "Just the other day, I was in my neighborhood Starbucks waiting for the post office to open. I was enjoying a chocolatey cafe mocha when it occurred to me that to drink a mocha is to gulp down the entire history of the New World, from Spanish exportation of the Aztec cacao and the Dutch invention of the chemical process for making cocoa, on down to the capitalist empire of Hershey, Pennsylvania, and the lifestyle marketing of Seattle Starbucks. The modern mocha is a bittersweet concoction of imperialism, genocide, invention, and consumerism, served with a whipped cream on top." I think that is absolutely one way to look at it. I also think we were talking about being more conscious of kind of where everything is sourced and the labor that goes into coffee. Nowadays, being able to talk about that, but even just slowing down and making that part of kind of a meditation or a mindfulness practice of being really, really conscious of where our water is coming from, and maybe having gratitude for some safe drinking water. And then the labor that was involved with growing and harvesting and packaging and roasting these coffee beans. I mean, there's so many people that are interconnected to your one cup of coffee. And then thinking about the land that it grows on, the nutrients, the sun that's involved, the rain, the care that's given. And then even to, what are you brewing it in? Where's your cup from? If it's a ceramic cup, there's some elements of earth in there. It is kind of all of the magical elements, right? Earth and wind and fire and water and the spirit. The caffeine's the spirit, I think. And then you use all of your senses, right? You can really just be present with all of your senses with a cup of coffee or tea. Works the same with tea leaves and
it does.
Herbal teas as well.
Yeah, it's I think a theme that runs through a lot of the different episodes that we have done and will continue to do is this idea of like when we slow down and we start to pay attention, what else do we start to notice, right? The interconnectivity of it all. And I think what you were just talking about, right, is a really good example of that. It's like, how do we slow down and notice it all?
Do you have any ponder points for today?
Yeah, for me, I have so many beautiful memories of connection and deepening and slowing down over a warm beverage. I think the ponder point I want to leave with people today is, how has your warm beverage been tied to a moment of connection and healing? And what is it like to revisit that memory?
Love that. I love that. I think my ponder point today is, if you allow your next cup to be an invitation to be present, can you invite all of yourself and your senses to that moment?
Beautiful.
Yeah. I have a little bit of I guess it kind of sounds like a prayer. And I will put the author's name in the show notes and with it, because I don't have it here just at the moment, but I thought this was really beautiful. So I'm going to end with this.
Okay.
It's called, here it is. I hope there are days when your coffee tastes like magic, your playlist makes you dance, strangers make you smile, and the night sky touches your soul. I hope there are days when you fall in love with being alive. And it's just beautiful.
Well,
yeah. So this is the last episode that we had planned for right now. So I don't have what we're going to do next. It's all going to be a mystery for us. But I'm sure by the time we put this up, there'll be a little bit of extra that will let you know what's coming up. But we thank you if you listened to any of our episodes this far. We're really grateful for you and the community that you're providing for us and others.
Yes.
So thank you.
Thank you. All right, and until next time, wander well.